Hey everybody, in this video we're going to talk about finding a specified term of a geometric sequence given two terms of the sequence. This first example, we're going to be given the first term and then another term, but sometimes we aren't given the first term, and in that case we're going to need a new formula. The formula that I talk about first is one that we discussed in previous videos about geometric sequences, and you can go ahead and go watch that if you're wondering where this formula comes from. But when we're going to find a specified term of a geometric sequence, one of the equations we can use is a sub n equals our first term times r raised to the n minus 1. Okay, so let's take a look at this question. For a given geometric sequence, the first term, a1, is equal to 17 ninths. So let's go ahead and write that down. Our first term is equal to 17 ninths. Then it says, and the fourth term is equal to 51. Okay, so our fourth term, a4, equals 51. Now it says, find the value of the seventh term, a7. So the seventh term, what is that? What is that one going to be? Well, in order to use this equation, I need to find r. So I'm going to use this equation twice. The first time I'm going to use it to find r. The next time I use it, I'm going to use it to find a7. So how do I use this? Well, I know a fourth term. The fourth term, a4, is 51. Let's just write that as a4 now. So the fourth term, a4, is going to be equal to the first term times r raised to the n minus 1, but n right now is 4, so 4 minus 1. So now I can fill some things in. a4 is 51, a1 is 17 ninths, and then I'm multiplying by r cubed. Now I have one variable in this equation and I can solve for it. So in order to solve for this, I'm going to multiply by 9 on both sides. And I do that because those 9s will go to 1. And then I get 459 equals 17 r cubed. Now I can divide by 17 and get 27 equals r cubed. And then I take the cube root and I get my ratio. Common ratio is equal to 3. So now that I know this, I'm going to use my equation again to find a7. Because I know my first term, I know r, and I'll know n because I'm trying to find a7 or an. So my seventh term is going to be equal to my first term times r, which I know is 3 now, to the 7 minus 1. So my seventh term is equal to 17 ninths, or my first term, times 3 raised to the 6th power. So my seventh term is 17 ninths times 729. And after I do this, I will get that my seventh term is equal to 1,377. So there's one example where I know my first term, but let's say I don't. If my first term is unknown, that's okay. As long as I'm given another term, we call that here ak, then I can write my nth term as ak times r to the n minus k. This looks very familiar or very similar to the arithmetic sequence one that we've used before, and we're going to use it the same way. Okay, so let's go on to the next problem where we're going to be using this equation. So for this one, I'm given a geometric sequence and I'm told that my common ratio r equals 3, negative 3, and that the seventh term, a7, is equal to negative 37. Find the value of the 11th term. So now I'm trying to find this term. Write your answer as a fraction. I don't know my first term. If I don't know my first term, I use a sub n equals a sub k times r to the n minus k. Where, which is which? Well, I'm given a sub k, so a7 is going to be my a sub k. That means that k is going to equal 7. I'm trying to find a sub 11, so that is my a sub n, or my nth term, which means that n is going to be equal to 11. And then I have my r as negative 3. So let's fill this in. an is a11. That's equal to ak, or a7, times r negative 3 to the 11 minus 7. a11 is what I'm trying to find. I don't know that one yet, so I'm going to leave it like that. And then a7 I do know is negative 37. And then I have times negative 3 and raised to the 11 minus 7, which is 4. After I multiply this out, I find that my 11th term is equal to negative 2,997. So that is finding specified terms of a geometric sequence given two terms of a sequence. Now, let's say, maybe hypothetically, that you were given two terms and one of them was not the first term. So let's say you were given a7 and you were given a11, and then you were told to find a13. You would first have to find r. Okay, there's a very similar problem to something like that on the arithmetic sequence videos that you can go ahead and watch and then see if you can apply it to the geometric sequence.